Good morning, everyone. I'm just checking my phone and making sure that I'm square, and last week's I think was a little bit blurry, so I'm trying not to zoom in as much. I'll just see if I'm live. Just refresh my phone, making sure I'm live. Takes a little while to come up. Yes, it is. I won't bother zooming in. It could go a little bit closer, but if I do, it might be too close. So I hope everyone... Oops, I'll turn the volume down. So many things to do. Say hi if you're watching. Good morning, Trish. Good morning, Cindy. Trish is from Ohio and Cindy from Virginia. Good morning, both of you. I'm just going to wait for a few people to come on this morning. Good morning, Debbie. I saw your comment that you've prepped and ready to go. I hope everyone's cut their pieces. This one is a really, really simple card. Morning, Sophia. Nice to have you on. I saw your lovely little koalas up in the trees the other day. That was so cute. Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Eleanor. Thanks, Corinne, for sharing. Not very good. That's okay. If it cuts out you know where the replay is to watch. This one's a really simple card. You might have even done it before. Good morning, Betty. Good morning, Merle. And hello, Beth. I'm waiting for one lady in particular to come on. I'm hoping she finds it. She's not real sure how to find it. She lives not far from me, and she's been, I've been chatting with her quite a bit the last couple of weeks, and she's not sure how to get on here. So hopefully she's okay. Her name is Tina. So I'll just keep chatting for a little while to make sure she's come on. If she doesn't find it, I'll show her where she can watch the replay. I know she got all her pieces ready last night. So I hope everyone's well. I was going to mention my YouTube channel if anyone's interested, if they're haven't already subscribed. It's called Creative Gems. If you go to YouTube and just type in Creative Gems, it's got a blue diamond as my symbol. Good morning, Marilyn. So if you wish to subscribe, because all the videos that I do on YouTube are in the Files tab in this section. Good morning, Glenda. From Canada. Nice to have you on. Yes, I did. I think I tagged you this morning. So I'm glad you found where it was. Yes, the YouTube. So all the YouTube videos that I do one every Monday morning at 9 a.m. And the PDF for those, as well as which is the full instructions, they go into that Files tab. So you're quite welcome to subscribe to that channel. I'm up to over 3,000 subscribers in there. And this week we hit over 16,000 members in this group. So I'm hoping everyone is enjoying what they're seeing. When you post, or it's probably to the new ladies, if they're saying, hi, I'm new to this group and this is a photo I took. It sounds as if you just took a photo. If it's a card that you've made, take it as a compliment, because I would. A lot of them are beautiful cards, and just put, hi, I'm new to this group and this is a card that I created, not a photo I took. It just seems a little bit that you're not proud of what you're doing. So just change your wording a little bit. It's probably just a little thing for me. I prefer people to say, I created this, because it's a lovely thing to do. Good morning, Margaret, and good morning, Jones Bev. I'm assuming your first name is Beverly. Yes, Beverly from Newcastle. Oh, not far away from me. And good morning, Louise from Maryland in the US. Nice to have you on. I'm still waiting for Tina, but I don't think she's found. I did explain to her how to get in here. but she's not, I told her don't panic, she can watch later. We will get started. Good morning, Christine. I think Christine was on. No, she wasn't. That's okay. I'm not sure who I've said good morning to. Good morning, Nerida and Carmel. Nice to have you all on. We've got lots on this morning, so I will get started. It's a really quick card. Not sure that there was anything else I needed to mention. Oh, I do want to mention something. If you're inviting people into my group, if you've got friends that you can send an invite to, just be sure when they accept the invite that they answer the 2 questions that are in there. One is why you wish to join the group. Lots of times I think, and I'm not sure how it works on Facebook, you invite someone, whether that just goes in automatically or whether they have to still accept your invitation. If they do, they still need to answer those 2 questions. I've seen a lot come through where someone in the group has invited someone else, but they don't answer the 2 questions. I go through, and this week especially, one day I had 180 new people wanting to join. Most days, or every day, has been over 100. One was 140 something. And I go through each and every one of them to make sure those 2 questions are answered. One is why you wish to join the group, and the other is that you agree to the rules. And I actually 100% read everyone's reply of why they wish to join the group. So please just answer the questions. That's all I can say. Good morning, Lee. Oh, yes, Christine. I'm assuming you're using the eucalyptus oil and using your pick tool in your track. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Jenny and Mary. Word is spreading. You are awesome. Thank you. I love what I do. And I do workshops and classes here at home. I've got a fairly large house. Actually, while we're crafting, I'll tell you a little story that happened yesterday to do with this house. I've got a workshop on tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. Some of the girls I haven't seen for a little while. So I think that's all I have to mention at the moment. So we shall get started. This card is called a puzzle card. I've called it Fun File Puzzle Card. It's just 4 pieces, and I can show you how it looks when you stand it up. It's quite interesting. And it's just slots together like you would do a jigsaw puzzle. So, but these are just square, not all the odd shapes like a puzzle. And that's all it is. Quite simple to do. You've got a piece in here which you can make this white section here if you want more space to write your greeting. You can do a bigger piece in there. I find that's enough for me. And also you could do a flat decoration in here if you don't want to put your greeting at the front, which it will show, but it's not too bad. You can put a mat on the back and do your greeting on the back as well. So that's just a couple of options to how to finish it off if you wish. Good morning, Pauline. So the pieces we're going to need, I'll leave that aside, and I've got all these ready here. Normally, if it's a lot of pieces, I have it typed up, but there's not so many today, so I'll just go with this, with the post-it notes. So my base, and you would have got these measurements on Wednesday, just for information. Every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, I put up the measurements for today's live. So just be aware, you know where they are. You can go back and find them. My base, this is called, all these products are Stampin' Up. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, so I only use Stampin' Up products. The group is not exclusive to Stampin' Up, so you're quite welcome to share your cards, even if they're not related to Stampin' Up. It's about sharing and about crafting, not the actual products. My base is 9.5 by 4 1/4. You would have cut that one. And then we've got another mat, which I'm going to cut. You'll see why in a minute. Same colour as my base. This one here was Summer Splash, I think. It's one of the new in colours. This one is 5.5 by 4.25, and that's getting cut into pieces. And then my patterned piece, which is DSP in Stampin' Up! Terms, or patterned paper. It measures 5.25 by 4. I've got 2 of those at different sizes. This one here is the one that's going in the background underneath in here, under that one there. So I've classed that as design 1. It's a bit more of a subtle pattern, but it doesn't matter if it's busy because you're going to put the white over the top. It's 5 inches by 3 3/4. That's that one. And then the one that we're cutting up, and I've chosen, I'll show you the paper in a minute. It's 5.25 by 4. That's my design 2. And it's this paper here, which is, if you're Stampin' Up, you'll be familiar with this one. It's in the annual catalogue. It's called Meandering Meadows, and it's got a lot of scenery type photos in here, scenery type paper in here. And then the back is sort of a muted pattern at the back. There's quite a few similar ones. That's really pretty there. So that's all these. I've mixed these packs quite a bit, so that's another one there. So I've got, I think, 3 packs all together, and they've been a bit mixed up because when I do a workshop, I need at least 12, sometimes more, depending on the size of your piece, of the one pattern. So I very rarely buy 6 by 6 because of that reason, that you need so many packs to get enough for a workshop out of it. So that's that one there. And then my white piece in the background, and you don't have to, I've die cut this with one of these deckled frame dies, that size there. There's all different, there's about 10 different sizes in that, and I've die cut that. But you can just leave it plain, you don't have to die cut it. It measures 3 3/4 by 2.5, and as I said before, you can make it bigger if you wish, so that's up to you on that one. That's that there. The paper we've done, and these I've got some, I'll show you the decorations when we get to them. I've just done a few little bits of decorating similar to this, but in different colours and different shapes. So I'll just have a mouthful of water. Good morning, Pauline. Where did, oh. Good morning, Angela from the UK. It must be really early in the morning, I think, for you, Angela, is it? Because I know I don't get many on from the UK because it's not a good time for them. I know in the US it's Friday evening, mid-evening, and I know UK is early in the morning. So let me know what time it is there, Angela. I'll go through the stamps that I'm using when I get to them, when I get to the pieces. So you'll need your main base piece first, this one here, and you'll need some sort of scorer or whatever you use to score your cardstock. And we're going to do, and I'll explain as I go, we're going to score it at 1 inch, which is here. This is with the long side at the top if you're on a trimmer, or if you're on a scoring plate, your long side will be at the top. So you're going to go, oh, I put my blades, I put a new blade in this morning, and as I've mentioned, I always keep my cutting blade at the bottom. This is a Stampin' Up! Trimmer. This is my cutting blade, which is the darker one, and the lighter one is my scoring blade. And I always put the cutter to the bottom so that when I'm scoring, I can push it right down the bottom out of the road. And that way I'm not going to cut instead of score. It's fine if you score instead of cutting, but not the other way around. So we're starting with 1 inch and score, and then 2 inches and score. And I'll try and go fairly slow for everyone. If you're, it's 1:15 yes, I thought so. Being kept awake by someone's alarm. Thought I'd jump in. Very nice. Thank you, Angela. Hello from California. Doing 108 degrees today. I'm assuming that's Fahrenheit. We work in Celsius here, but I'm assuming that's Fahrenheit, which I'm not sure. I don't seem to work in Fahrenheit anymore. So then flip your cardstock around 180 degrees and do the same on the other end. And I'll explain why I do it that way. 1 inch and 2 inches. When you're doing a base or any scoring, if it's the same measurement from both ends, always flip it. Well, I always flip it 180 degrees and then score the same measurement again. If it's a different measurement down here, then you have to go all the way across with your whatever measurements. If you did it this other way, and I'll show you. So we went 1 and 2, and then this one would be at 7.5 and 8.5. But sometimes your score is just a fraction out, and then you don't get an even score on both ends. So I prefer to do 1 and 2 and then flip and do 1 and 2. That way you know your scoring is exactly the same as what it is on this end, if that makes sense. Well, it does to me. So you're going to fold this. Now you're going to fold on that inner score line of the 2 this way and burnish, and then fold the outer score line backwards and burnish. Give it a good burnish. It does sit up for a little while, but I found that card that I did, so inner score line first inwards and the outer score line backwards, and you'll end up with that, if that makes sense. Yes, I found I put something heavy. I put a couple of blocks and all sorts of stuff on top overnight, and it sat down reasonably flat eventually. But it's going in an envelope, and you want it to sit up nicely once you've given it to someone anyway. So that's the base piece done. We'll put that aside. Now, you've got to be careful the way you cut this one. You need your other matte piece that's the same colour as your base. And you're going to cut, I'll just double check. We're going to cut on the short side first. Now this measures 4 1/4. So you want the 4 1/4 side at the top, and you've got half of that. We're going to cut it in half lengthwise. So it will be 2 1/8. If you're not familiar with inches, 1/8 is 2 strokes past the 2 on this sort of trimmer. So 2 1/8 is half of 4 1/4. So you're just going to cut that in half, put that aside, then flip this one piece around. We'll do the, it doesn't matter which way we do it. We'll do the top piece first, which is this, the top, that's the top one. So grab your top piece out of those 2 that you just cut. And on the long side, with the left edge on 3 1/4. So this is your left edge of your cardstock. Put it on 3 1/4, which is halfway between that and the 3 1/2. So 3 1/4 and cut. Leave those 2 pieces aside in the same order. And then you need the other piece that was at the bottom. And you're going to put the long side at the top again. And the right edge, no, that should read, I've written that wrong on my notes. So the left edge, I'll fix that when I go. The left edge again on 2 1/4, which is that one there, which is halfway between 2 and 2 1/2, 2 1/4. I'll just double check that. 2 1/4. And then that will sit like so. So you've got your 4 pieces. What have I done? Oh yeah, it's all right. I just didn't have it lined up. So that's the pieces you should have. You've got 2 the same here and 2 the same there. So that's that piece. I will keep the trimmer here. I'm just checking my comments. Now, you'll need this patterned paper here. That's just staying as is. That was design 1. We'll leave that the way it is. And then design 2, and I did mention a couple of times through on the post that you needed landscape if you're doing a scenery or a pattern that's directional, you need as landscape. So that's this way for your paper. And then you're going to cut this different measurements, but exactly the same way. So with the short edge at the top and your left edge at 1 7/8. We're just cutting it in half, 1 7/8, which is 2 strokes before the 2, because this measured whatever this one was. I just took the piece of paper off it. Where did I put it? Design 1. There it is. Design 2, 5 1/4. So 4 inches. 4 inches. Wait a minute, I just double check. I think I've done something wrong. No, I haven't. No, that's fine. This one is design 2. Where's my other one? Just double check. I'm just double checking here because I think I've got them around. Yes, I've cut that the wrong way. That's okay. I'll get a new piece of that because that one's the wrong size. This one should be, I'm confusing myself here. Just bear with me for a minute. 5 1/4 by 4. 5 1/4 by 4 is design 2. This one here should have been bigger. That should have been that size. And this should have been the biggest size. I've got my measurements around the wrong way, so that's fine. We can cut this one down. It should be smaller. This one, which I'll let you cut down, you can put that in there. Actually, what I will do, I'll put a mat around this one. So you can do that later. I'll put a mat around that, save me putting another one. We'll pick out a mat in a minute. What have I done? This one should be 5. I'll just double check here. Bear with me. I think I've got my pieces around the wrong way. The mats are okay. And that's right as well. I think this piece should have been the same size as this piece. So we'll fix that in a minute. This one is correct. 5 1/4 by, excuse my interruption here, 5 by 4. 5 by 4, 5 1/4 by 4, design 2. That's this one. So we're going to cut this in half. So you're going to put that on 2 inches. Wait till I double check that. Yes, that's 4 inches. So you want to cut this in half at 2 inches. Excuse me for holding you all up. So we'll cut that one in half. We're just going to cut exactly the same as this, but with different measurements. So that's in half that way. And then this piece, which was 5 1/4, which should be your correct one. Design 2, which is 5 1/4. Just trying to find my measurement. I'll go from this. I'll just measure this so I get you the right measurement. It will be 3 1/8. Yes. So this top one here will be cut at 3 1/8, which is there. That one there and that one there. I've got the little 1/8 inch border around, a 1/16 border around these. So that's that one. Next week I'll make sure I double check. And then this one the same. This one here, if you flip it up the other way, you can do the same measurement, 3 1/8. That would be easier for you. So turn your second piece upside down and then bring it back, and it will be exactly as you want it. I should have explained that earlier instead of going with 2 measurements. I'll fix up my instructions before I post them. So that goes on like so. This one has got a narrower border than before. So that's those 4. Now this one here, I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to get out another piece. If you want to leave it like that, you can put a mat behind it. Why don't I just get another piece? And I'll find the same pattern. Bear with me for 1 second. There's one here. So this one inside, I'll give you the correct measurement. You can either put that one in and put a mat around or leave it as it is. It should be 5 1/4 by 4, which is the same as the other one. Both pieces are the same size. Don't ask me why I did that. 5 1/4. I'm going to make it the right size, and I'll give you the alternative. If you want to put a mat underneath your, you can put one, just coordinate your colours. Good morning, Amanda. So this one here, the first one I cut, I had 5 by 3 3/4. If you use that one, you can just leave it as it is like that, or put a mat around, which would be the same size as this, which would be 5 1/4 by 4, and that would give you a mat behind it. Just choose a colour that's in your paper and put a mat underneath. A mat is cardstock. So do your cardstock at 5 1/4 by 4. It will save you cutting another piece of paper. I've cut another piece of paper. So just do a mat underneath at 5 1/4 by 4, and then your piece will go on top of that. Don't ask me why I put that different measurement. They should both be the same. Anyway, them's the mistakes you always make. So this one's still going in here. Now we're back on track. So keep these pieces in order, like so. We can stick this piece down in here with, I'll use liquid glue today. Hello, Laura Kemp from Florida. So I'm just putting some glue around this one. I hope everyone got through my bit of a oops there. Some days just never goes right. So put your matte one in there, or your pattern paper one in there. Then these can all get stuck together. Keep them in the order that they go in. Actually, that one should have been up. No, it's up this way. I'm doubting myself now. No, I think it's the other way because I did turn that. Just double check my pattern. No, it's, the flowers look upside down on that. I'm going to go with it that way. I think that's better. The flowers look upside down on the other one. So we'll glue all these together. I should have my mat down, silicone mat. Just glue all these to your mats. If you're not crafting along, then you can fix all your pieces before you start. Some of you wouldn't have cut your pieces yet, so just make sure you cut them. I'll put the PDF into the files tab, and it will be correct once I do that. And this one. My little story I mentioned before, We had a bloke out yesterday that was giving us a quote on getting our roof restoration done. It needs painting and it needs a seal and it needs cleaning, the whole thing. So I booked it in a couple of days ago. I booked this bloke to come out, and I got a text back to say he would be here sometime between 2 and 3 in the afternoon, yesterday afternoon. And so I was home all day. My hubby was here most of the day. And it got to 3 o'clock and no one had turned up. And then I checked my phone for a message, and I had a message from him. Something I've done wrong here. These have got to go the other way, that way. That's better. That's why it didn't look right. Now they're right. Yes, I had a message to say that he was coming between 1 and 1:30 or something. And I thought, it's 3 o'clock and he hasn't been. So I rang the number, his mobile number, and he said, this was at just after 3, and he said, yes, I've been, and I've left you a folder at the front door, because the door was shut and our door was open all day. The screen door was shut. And he reckoned he left a folder out the front with all the info, the colour charts and everything else in it. And I went and had a look, and I said, there's nothing out there. And he said, he looked at his phone where his navman or navigator thing was, and he'd gone to number 20. We're number 37 in the street, and he'd gone to 27. He'd got up on the roof, put his ladder up, got up on the roof because no one was home, and did all the photos up there, put the all the info at the front door, and left it at number 27, and we're 37. He said the neighbour was out looking around, and he kept all the photos because he said when someone complains, at least he knows, because he's got his name on his shirt and everything. And yeah, he'd gone to the wrong house and left this brochure and everything. Because why it twigged, he said to my hubby on the phone, he said, oh, your aerial, the tiles around your aerial need fixing, and something else needed fixing. And he said, we don't have an aerial. And he mentioned the colour of the roof. He said, you've got a red roof. And I said, no, we've got a terracotta roof. So then he knew he'd been to the wrong place, wrong house. I couldn't believe it. Lucky he was only 10 minutes away. Anyway, we'll get back onto the card here, and I'll finish that story in a minute. So you've kept your pieces in the same order. Now we're just going to glue them onto this panel here. So all you need is, we'll just do one section at a time. I just thought it was so funny that this bloke had gone to the wrong house. So put a bit of glue on there. We could go up a little bit higher. You can put glue all over this section because the whole thing, and this one's going here. Now make sure it's level with the bottom and level with the side. Pick it up like so and square it into that corner like so. And then this one here will go over here. As you can see, my flowers are lining up here as well. So if you've got a scenery type one, it lines up nicely. Just make sure you keep them in the order that they're going to go on the card. So that one there, nice and square in the corner. Hello Sharon, how are you? I think Sharon lives up, are you up Bundaberg Way, Gladstone, Bundaberg, up that way? I think you are. I've seen some of your posts on Facebook. Then this one here will go up the top of here. So they're opposites. The small one is at the top and the larger one is underneath. Square that up into the corner of that. And then this one over this side. And that creates your puzzle. I'll put a little bit more glue on that one. Square that in. The last couple are easy to get in because they're squaring up with what's already there. And that's your scenery. Actually, I've got those back the front. That should have been there and that should have been there. And I've got them around the wrong way, but that's okay. We're going to deal with it. That should have gone over that side. Oh, I'm in a mess this morning. I will redo that one later so I can put the proper photo up. Make sure you keep your patterns in the right order. I think when I flip that one and cut, I will put the correct measurements and how to cut on the PDF. So we have got them back to front. So this one here is going inside. Never had such a mess. I'm just going to glue that straight in there. I'll do another card after I'm finished the video and pop it up so you can see the correct effect that it gives you. Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. Hello, Julie. Gagango, which is, oh, north of Rockhampton. Oh, that is a fair way out. I thought it was Gladstone or up that way. My son and his wife are up at Emu Park at the moment, which would be up your way somewhere. He's been working up there since April, and his wife's with him, and they're due back in about a week or so. So these little cutout pieces are from this Thoughtful Wishes dies, which is that set there. My little circle dies here. I'll explain this extra one in a minute. They're from this set here. The little hello is from Poised Peony, that one there. So that's the stamp sets I used. So this one here, I'm just going to glue that to the back like so. When you use, if you're not real confident lining up greetings on your dies, try using a circle die. It's much easier to line up when you've got a circle. Now these, I'm going to cut the ends off, but they're going in behind this, like so. I'm going to snip the bottoms off. So all I'm doing is putting a heap of Stamp and Seal, my little roller, at the back of that. Then I'm going to attach these here. I'll trim them off after. And that one there. And this one. So I've just toned in the colours. And then I'm going, oh, that last one won't stick because it's got all the other bits on top. So we'll just put a little bit more on top of that. Over that way a little bit. Doesn't matter what sort of decorations you put. And then I'm just going to trim off some of that excess that's sticking out. Like so. That white one's up a little bit high. I'll tuck him down a little bit. About there. And then I just cut out whatever circle that is. I think it was about 1 3/4. So this would be a 1 inch circle just punched out of the same cardstock. And I'm just going to put liquid glue on the back. This is just to hold it all together when you have an arrangement on the back. I'm just going to slot that over the top. So long as it's a little bit smaller than your front die, you could freehand just cut a little square piece at the back, and that way it holds it all together nicely at the back. And it also gives you a flat surface to put your dimensionals and raise it up. I'm so disappointed about that. I may not put this on here. I'm going to put that. That's got to come across a little bit. We can just pull that over there. I'm not going to attach it properly because I'm going to use it on the next one after I fix it, but I'll show you where to put the dimensionals on the back of this, and we just won't stick it down for now. So I'll use it on my next, when I get the pattern right. We shall fix that other one. Actually, I'll probably just cut another piece and fix it up the top here. So that's going to go on there. I didn't mean to pull the backings off that. So that will go on there, and that is your card. Then I've got embellishments, which I've got these ones here. Adhesive back dots. And I was going to put some, I'm not sure what colour I was using. Oh, this Fresh Freesia. I'm going to just scatter some of those. So you'll see the finished card once I fix all that up. I might just cut these two top pieces again and cut them the right way. I've got plenty of paper there. Sorry about all the muck up, and I shall fix my directions for you and put them in the files tab. Sharon, yes, that would work if it wasn't glued on. It's glue. I know you can lift tape or your seal. If you use the seal, you can lift up. With glue, you can't. I've tried it. It just tears the cardstock, and I did glue those down. Thanks for that. But I know if you use tape on it or this seal, you can heat it up and lift it up. It won't, but I've also got to cut this pattern over in the small, like, it'll have to be cut there to put over there, and then this piece would be longer. So I'll put it over the top of this, which would be okay. It'll work. Thanks for that hint. Thanks, Corinne. Sorry I mucked it up, but the bottom's okay. It's fine. It works out really pretty once it's finished, and I like this one as well. So, but we shall fix it. Not a problem. Thanks for watching this morning. I'll keep you updated with the roofing bloke. He left and he kept apologising for coming to the wrong house, but we think we're going to get it done. But he's told us 6 to 8 or 8 to 12 weeks or something before he can fit us in. He's just a small business at Algester, not far from here, and I wasn't expecting it that long, but I'll be patient. I just need the roof fixed. Well, not fixed, but cleaned. It looks a bit of a mess at the moment. Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Corinne. I shall leave you with that. I'm in the middle of prepping all my, a lot of stuff for my retreat that's coming up in October. My order turned up. I did an order for Stampin' Up! On Tuesday. I'm a bit of a freak, I know. I got up at midnight and did my order, but it paid off. I got the order yesterday. So how quick is that? From Tuesday to Friday, and I had my order here. So I'm all set to go with prepping. That's it from me, and I'll catch you all again next Saturday with another fun fold that we'll do properly. See you later. Bye.